Hi there and welcome back to another video. So we're going to be doing a slightly different one today as we're all being hit hard from every single direction in terms of our budgets. In the UK, inflation at the minute is 7.9%, meaning if you spent £100 last year on your shop, you'd be spending £107.90 this year on the exact same shop. If you're watching this from the US, your inflation rate is 3%, which is still on the higher end. So wherever you're watching from, be sure to stick around to the very end of the video to get the most value out of it, because today I'm here to share some tips and tricks to help you beat supermarkets, grocery stores at their own game to help you save hundreds, maybe even thousands.
Magic.
So if you like this type of content where I go through all things budgeting, investing, maybe even property, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button down below so you get notified whenever there's a new video released. From here, I would say before you look at your shopping habits, you want to have some stuff already in place. There's some stuff which you want to prepare sort of before you go for your shop, some things to remember while you're shopping, and then some stuff to consider after the shopping is done. So my first suggestion would be to set out a budget. So before you even leave, you want to have an idea in your head of how much money you intend on spending. Now, sort of the first level of this is going out with a number in your head. So let's say you've got $50, £50 set out in your head, that's what you're going to be spending. So the first level is trying to obviously hit that. The next level to that is where you go through your shop and you actually calculate sort of as you go how much you're actually spending on your shop. Now the third level is where you kind of have the budget standalone in your account. So let's just say you've got a £50 budget for this shop, and that is all that's in your account. So if anything, not only have you created the psychological barrier that's stopping you, i.e. you've got a budget that you'd like to meet, but by having only that money in your account, you've also got a physical barrier where if you run out of money in that account, obviously it stops there. And let's be honest, no one wants to get to the till and not have enough money to spend on their shop or have the embarrassment of having to put something back. So if you do have a $50, $60 budget for this particular shop, you're more likely to spend less because no one wants that embarrassment of when they get to the till. This leads me on to the next point, which is create a shopping list. So you'll know exactly what you need, so you won't be buying extra. You'll know what your necessities are, so what you really need to buy versus what you just may want to buy. Another little tip as well, if you do go to a shop, let's say you do need some milk, to not grab a shopping basket or anything, just simply go in for the milk, because likely if you go in with a basket, you're going to try to fill it. So you've got your budget in place, you've got your shopping list together. My third tip before you set off would be to eat before you go. There are multiple studies that demonstrate that shopping on an empty stomach for food is more likely to lead to impulse buys, sweet treats, salty snacks. So just be sure to eat something you set off. Why do you think the moment you set foot in a shop or a grocery store, the first thing that you can smell is the bakery section? Now you're all set to go to your shop. One just side point I'd consider is also think about the shop that you're using. So if you're shopping at Waitrose or Marks and Spencer's, could you be looking at Aldi, Lidl, maybe even Tesco? Because you are going to start to see differences from your shop when you start to make those changes. If you're over in the US, rather than looking at Walmart, it's looking at Trader Joe's as an example. But there's so many options out there that could help you simply save money by the shop you're actually going to. But that leads me to my first sort of main point when you arrive at the supermarket or grocery store, and that's taking a step down in terms of the price or the perceived quality. So if you usually buy branded stuff, see what the next level down is, a similar sort of item. If you usually buy one of the finest items, take a step down to one of their value items, because most likely they're going to be highly similar in taste. You're going to get a lot greater of a discount and you're not actually going to notice. A fun thing might even be to try and taste test your family to see if they'll actually notice the difference. Rather than looking at like a Hovis bread in the UK or Sunbeam over in the US, it's about seeing what the one step down option is, but trying to do that with as much of your shop as you can. And on average, you'll save over 20% a year on your actual shop that you're doing. As an example for me, when I used to go shopping, I did used to try that tactic out to see what the next level step down was. For me, as an example, the value sort of chicken that was offered by the supermarket that I went to, it tasted like it. I wasn't a fan, so I just simply took a step back to what I was comfortable and what tasted better. But try to take a step down in your shopping, or try to make gradual changes to change, let's just say, the juice you're buying, or the particular sweet treats you're buying. Just take a step down to see if there's really a difference in the quality you're getting. The next thing to consider is just understanding the layout, or sort of the inner workings of the shop a little bit. But ultimately, all of their impulse items, they keep them by the till typically. So your impulse items are the small little things that are quite cheap, that don't take much decision making or thinking. So your packs of chewing gum, magazines, small little chocolate bars, things like that. But it's about resisting those temptations and those urges. Another aspect of it as well is your profitable items for the shop are usually at your eye level. So if you're looking at a certain item, just try and look up and look down at the other options that are available, because the most profitable ones are at your eye level, whereas the more cheaper similar items will be above and below that. Essential items, so your milk, your bread, your common purchases, they'll be scattered all over the store, you'll find. That's to get you walking past as much as possible to sell you something else. With buy one get one free offers, it's about understanding the trade-off. So with buy one get one free, is it an item you usually buy anyway? Is it something that you're actually going to use? But it's about considering if this buy one get one free offer is just there to make you spend more money, or if this would actually be of additional value to you if you bought it. Finally, it's the glory of the reduced section, those beautiful yellow labels that you see where you can get a chicken, let's say, for 20p, or you can get things that are usually £4 or £5 for just £1 as an example. They will go off or go out of date quite soon, but they are a great way to grab some wicked bargains. Another thing to consider now is sort of when you get home, it's afterwards. So you've completed your shop now, you've resisted all the temptation, you understand how these shops are trying to make you spend. When you're at home, it's now understanding the difference between best before and use by dates. So use by dates, they're things which could cause health problems, cause anything. So that's like your meat going off, your eggs going off, but they could give you food poisoning, and they're dangerous to eat after that date. Best before dates, they're a little bit different in that they're just likely to lose some of their flavour or texture. It's not that they'll taste disgusting, it's just they won't be of the same quality as when they were manufactured after that date. So another thing to consider in general is loyalty schemes, particularly if they're free. I'm not too sure about the US, but obviously in the UK, with Tesco, we've got that club card where it can get you 50% off some items. It's mental that there'll be one price there of, let's say, £15 for something, and then if you have a card that's free, you'll pay £7.50 for it instead. Obviously you get Nectar points where you can get 30% off some items as well. Even Lidl, one of the biggest discount retailers in the United Kingdom at the minute that offer absolutely crazy cheap prices, they also offer a loyalty card which gets you 20-30% off their items. So another thing to consider is your cashback, your additional discounts, or anything else you can scrape together. My first point to this would be a credit card. So by spending exactly the same amount of money you would on a credit card, you can get cash back. You literally get money back simply for spending the same money that you usually would. It's a great way to get a little bit extra back. I've got a whole video dedicated to it, but it's an amazing perk. I don't think credit cards have got the reputation they deserve. I've done a whole video on it, which I'll leave somewhere around here, but it's worth the watch. Another thing is gift cards as well, offered by companies. So some companies will offer you a gift card of the value of, let's say, £50, and you only pay £45. So that's a real good way to save money simply by utilising a perk that's offered by your company. Some companies just offer straight up discounts for supermarkets as well. Particularly another thing to consider is if you work for the public services. There's great well-deserved discounts out there as well if you work for the public services. Final other point as well is there are a lot of apps out there which could potentially look at your shop and say exactly where the cheapest place would be to buy that shop. On top of that, you have apps that also can offer you discount codes or offer you vouchers to get the most value you can out of your shop. So as you can see, grocery stores, supermarkets, they're built to get you to spend. The bright yellow discount labels, the layouts of the stores, the way they lay out their shelves. Now that you know how they do it, you can take some of these tips away and you can beat them at their own game. Thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. I really hope you've enjoyed it. And if you like this sort of shorter version of content that I've put together, please hit the like button so I know that you want more of it. Of course, and always hit the subscribe button if you like the content coming out of this channel. But I'll see you again soon. Thank you so much again, and goodbye.